Hey guys, Amanda here for some inspiration around your yoga asana. So I wanted to give you some getting upside down every day sort of inspiration. I think it's such a huge gift to reverse gravity for ourselves, even in the slightest amount, every single day if we can. It really helps with circulation, the endocrine system, even thyroid and hormonal functions, liver function, lymphatic flow. There's so many things that are benefited when we flip upside down. And don't worry, I'm not talking about handstand or headstand or anything crazy like that. There are lots of different ways to get upside down in a safe, gentle way. Just a couple of heads up for those of you who do have high blood pressure and are not taking anything to manage it as far as meds, as well as those of you who have osteoporosis or osteopenia. Please be mindful and talk to your doctor around these poses before you do them. I'll talk a little bit more as I show you some of the options here. So let's get ourselves upside down. Okay, so first things first, forward bends, forward folds are a really great way to get upside down. So for those of you who have healthy, safe spines, it's okay to have a little bit of rounding in your back. I have two blocks here. You can use books as well. Something that's, about a foot off the ground can be really helpful for getting to forward bends. But I always like to encourage a flat spine. So even though we can round our backs and do forward bends this way, it's a lot of impact on our vertebra. So we don't want to put that constriction and tension and compaction onto our spine. We want to extend it, open it up, and increase a nice stretch in our hamstrings, but also get the upside downness that we want. Okay, so I always begin with hands at my hips and begin the descent. So it might be that as we're tipping up the pelvis, instead of just rounding the back, we're keeping our spine lengthened, our heart open. It might be that we only get to here because our hamstrings are holding us back. That's okay, all right? For those of you who are not dealing with any bone density issues, you can certainly round your back to reach those props and just try to drop your head a little bit. So even here, and I'm going to lengthen my back up because this is the preference for healthy spines, and drop our head. We can still get a little bit of that action here. The other option for those of us with really tight hamstrings is to use a chair. So utilize a folding chair or any chair that you have and use it for extra height. And you can even build more height with your block if you need so. So even here we're kind of halfway over, right? So even here we're getting the sort of reverse gravity, even just a little amount. So as we're using our props, we press into, tip the pelvis behind, stretch the tailbone back behind us, and let the head come to sort of a neutral place looking down at the chair. So we have a couple of options there. So depending on the flexibility of those legs, you might stay here. You might allow the back to round and grab for those props. Or you might use the chair as an ally as well. Either way, we're allowing ourselves to come nearly halfway over, if not a little bit more, to just shift the flow of gravity from our upper torso and head. Another really wonderful way to get upside down is to just kick our legs up. Now, I showed you guys this in a different video that was around restorative poses and restful poses, but this really is one of the best ways also to get upside down. So you're using your chair, you're patting it if it's hard, and you just kick those legs up and you allow yourself to come on back. Now, staying here for even just 5 minutes is a wonderful way to just reverse the flow of all those bodily fluids and create some real nice clarity in the mind and some peacefulness in our minds. So this is a great, great way for you to just hang out. It doesn't have to be fancy with any extra propping or anything like that. You just kick those legs up. Arms can be wide out to the side, palms facing up, and you just enjoy. Perhaps you have a little blanket underneath the head should your neck need support, but otherwise, this is an inversion. Doesn't look like much, but it is, and it's such a gift, especially after a long, hard day. The other piece that you could add to this is actually using a wall instead. So if your hamstrings are a little bit more open, what you can do is simply come to a wall, and there's no real graceful way to get up into these, but what you'll do is you'll get one hip up on the side of the wall, and then you just swing your legs up, like so. And you might actually want to grab a blanket, and I'm just going to grab this one off the chair, and fold it so that it's underneath your pelvis for a little extra padding, but also so that you can allow the sit bones to get closer to the wall and dip down a bit. So this is another option, and again, you can just hang out. It might be a nice idea to have a belt or a scarf around to kind of tie your legs together so they don't feel like they're falling off to the side, but certainly you don't have to if they feel comfortable like this. But this is another wonderful inversion, and you don't have to be here for long. Maybe, 3 to 5 minutes is fantastic. Of course, if you feel any tingling going on in your toes and legs, you can certainly come down. But this is a wonderful treat. And again, it's the reverse of gravity, and we could all use some help in that. So to come on down, you just draw the knees to your chest and then just gently roll off to one side. Again, nothing graceful about it. The other piece I wanted to give you is a simple cat and cow, and maybe moving into some variation of down dog. So I want to show you the chair version again because it's nice to have that option of using a chair. So from here, again, we come into that forward fold. Mind you, we have our feet at hips-width distance. I didn't mention that before. But we're just, again, at the halfway point, and we're just moving our spines, arching and rounding as we allow the head to drop and gently lift, not too much here. And of course, if the neck has more to go, you can always lift it more. But we're just moving in and out here. And then to make it even more of an inversion, what we can do is just push this chair back a little bit or walk the feet back. And then we push them back, drop the head in between our arms, keep the arms straight, keep the legs straight, and we're imagining that we're still tipping the sit bone back behind us. And here we are in another inversion. Pretty great, right? So these are all simple ways to just get upside down, even if it's just for a couple of moments. It doesn't have to be anything major, but when we can do this, especially after a long, hard day at work, it's a true gift to our mind and also our body. So just a couple ideas to throw at you around getting upside down every single day. It's a huge gift. All right, guys, talk to you soon. Thanks for tuning in.